Hello and good afternoon, everyone. It's Noni Walker coming to you live once again on a Friday. And for me here in Atlanta, it's another day at home. If you're in Atlanta or somewhere where this winter storm took over, tell me what happened. Here in the Atlanta area, I live south of the airport, but in this area, we had a winter storm move through. We had a lot of ice. And so my kids have not had school since Tuesday because down here in the South, we are just not equipped. You can pick on us if you want to, but we're just not equipped. So we've been at home pretty much all week. I've been working from home and hey, cousin. So something that does happen when you're at home with your kids working from home is that your daughter can convince you to straighten your hair. So she straightened my hair, and a couple things, like I didn't know how long my hair was because usually when it's curly, it's like right here. I didn't know how long it was, and I didn't know how many split ends I had. so, so even though it's all long and everything, it's just going to stay back there because I have not had it cut in like a long time. But these are just some of the things that happen when you are at home, working from home all week with your children. And you eat. I don't know how many cookies this week. Yes, that's the different thing. My hair hasn't been straight in a really long time. But like I said, these split ends are not going to let me be visually great this way. So we're going to be visually great that way. All right. So I'm coming to you all today to kind of do like a part two. I want to do a part two of the video that I did last week. And last week I came to you all announcing the start of my Manifest Freedom Tour. And I'm really happy and excited to announce that I do already have some dates booked. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have had some interest forms filled out, as well as the folks that joined me. Hey, Chandra. The folks that joined me at the end of last week, they heard my special offer that for the first 50 people to join my list through my Facebook page, they were going to get my ebook for free. They were going to get the ebook version of the book that I wrote for free. So we have had a lot of people taking up on that offer. So thank you to everyone who's already booked me and who's already received their free ebook. So again, this is a part two. And I feel a lot more calm than I did last week. I think I was so excited that I brushed over some of the points that I really wanted to make. And so we're going to get into those points today and for a much shorter time. So I'm going to be quick and to the point. Last week, I announced that 2018 is the year of the free woman. And I want to dig deeper into what does it mean to really live free? Like, what does that really mean? Okay. Yeah. Free, right? So, and this again is targeted to my ladies. So men, if you're joining me, please stay here, share this with the women in your life, get some tips on how, to maybe deal with women in your life. I don't know, but this is the year of the free woman. And so this talk is towards all of my ladies out there. So what does it mean to really live free? Well, before we get into what it really means, I want to get into what it's not, okay? What it's not. Living free is not being a victim in any sense of the word. Now, I'm not talking about, like, let's say you were the victim of some heinous crime. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those little nuances throughout the day. This person cut me off in traffic, so now I'm gonna just scowl at the world for the rest of the day. I'm in a relationship in which I'm not really fully being honored and respected, and instead of adjusting the relationship or getting out of the relationship, I just sit and gossip and complain all day. That's being a victim. Being a victim is also where your career is not going in the direction that you want. And instead of coming back to be 100% accountable to yourself, again, just spending time only complaining and not creating solutions for yourself. So when we talk about what living free is not living as a victim in your life. Okay. Living free also is not giving in to fear. Now, we talked about this last week, right? We said fear is impossible to avoid. We're all going to be afraid about some things. It's not that we need to be. It's not that we need to say have no fear. That's kind of impossible. Okay. But as we talked about last week, fear doesn't really exist in the now. Fear exists in one of two places. Fear exists in giving into the negative and limiting beliefs about something in your past or something in your future. That's where fear comes from. And so when we talk about what living free is, it's not giving into fear about something negative that happened to you in the past and you're just holding on to it. And it certainly is not a negative projection of your future. Okay? Living free is also not being a slave or being tied down just to these negative and limiting beliefs, period, point blank. Let me give you an example of a negative and limiting belief. Like, let's say you want to lose weight, right? But all of your circle of friends that you currently have, you're all in the same weight category. You all sit around and pick on people that are not your weight. Whatever it might be. By giving in and being tethered to the fear of how you can move forward in your life is to say to yourself, I can't achieve that goal of losing weight because I might lose all my friends. I might lose my complete circle, my social and my environmental support network. But what is that doing? That's not living 100% free. That's living tethered to other people's opinions. It's living as a slave to a negative and limiting belief about your future. So those are a couple of ways that we can say what living free is not, okay? Now, let's get into what really living free is. And this is not easy, okay? I think that when I look back at my own career and my own promotion of this concept, I think I used to sugarcoat it. But I have personally, professionally experienced, as well as talked to other people through this last year or two, to really realize, like, we've got to get real about some things. That if we really, really want to live free, we have to move forward in a real, raw, and authentic way. And we have to stop sugarcoating it. So when I talk about the year of the free woman, it's time to live free. I'm not talking about just meaning be single. I'm not talking about being financially free. Before any of that comes, what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing for yourself? And there's three general categories that I'm kind of breaking this down into. Living free is living 100, okay? Not like this popular social thing that went around a couple years back. Oh, I'm 100. I give it to you 100. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 100% responsible for your own life, 100% validated in yourself first, and 100% self-love. Those are three main areas that I'm focusing on through the topics that are in my book, Fear, Forgiveness, and Fat. Okay, so let's break these down. Hey, Noni, I want to live free. Tell me what it is, sister. Okay, 100% responsible. This goes hand in hand with the opposite. When you're not 100% responsible of your life, you leave yourself open to be 100% victim to everybody else. Okay? When you live 100% responsible for your own life, you take back control of whatever's not going right. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen like that. But as you take the steps to say, you know what, self, I'm really unhappy in my career. I know that I want to bake cakes. I know that I want to do hair. I know that I really want to do X, Y, and Z. But I know that I've been living in fear of other people's opinions, or I've been listening too much to what society is saying is a good thing for me to do, that's not being responsible for your own life. And so when I talk about, oh, I really just want to live free, the first part of that is being 100% responsible for your own choices and your own decisions. Okay. Number 2, 100% validated in yourself. Now this goes deep. We don't have time to get that deep, but this does go deep, because when I talk about being 100% validated in yourself first, what I'm talking about is before you leave your house, okay? Before you go to the job, before you interact in your relationship, before you deal with your family, that you validate yourself fully first, okay? However you look, however tall you are, however short you are, whatever weight you are, whatever mistakes you made in the past, whatever lessons you had to learn the hard way, is that it's an understanding of those things and a validation of yourself that this is me, this is me. I validate myself first. I don't look towards a relationship to tell me who I am as a person. I don't let myself be identified by my job. I don't let myself be identified by my social activities. That I know just from who I am, that I'm 100% validated first. Do you all get what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy to lose yourself in relationships when you're looking to that other person to tell you how great you are. I don't even, and what I'm saying is, like, I don't care if you've been married for 30 years. I don't care if you've had the same job for 40 years. That marriage should not be your sole source of validation. You have to do that for yourself first in order to live free. So I'm talking to those that say they really want to live free in life, that before all of those things comes the fact that you validate yourself first. I'm trying to think of another word besides validate, but that you approve of yourself first, okay? Before looking outward. Let's get into the third topic, which is real juicy. The idea of that to live free is to 100% love yourself. Now, these kind of blur together, right? Like being responsible to yourself, being validating yourself, and then having self-love. But they are very distinct and different. So let's talk about self-love. There's a trend that's been happening for the past couple of years that the idea of self-love is self-care, right? Self-love equals self-care. Self-love equals self-care. When you really want to live free, you break out of that thought and you understand that self-love does not mean self-care. I had a good virtual Facebook friend in one of the women groups that I'm in to break this down for us last year. Girl, ever since she did, like, it has really freed me from a limiting belief. She broke it down and said, self-care is only one little part of self-love. True self-love is self-preservation, okay? Self-preservation. It is being aware of how you are utilizing your own energy, how you're utilizing your time, how you're utilizing your own power. How much time do you verbally spend on the phone, text messaging all day, on the internet? If you're not preserving your own self through feeding yourself through the validation, through being responsible, and self-care, that's a part of it, then you're not really preserving yourself. So that was a concept that I learned last year, that self-love is self-preservation. Because as you preserve yourself, you are mindful of your own energy. You're mindful of your power. You're mindful of your time. You're mindful of the activities that you're doing that help to feed yourself. guess what happens? Then everything else on the outside benefits. It's basically living full. Jan Van Zant talks about that a lot, that there's no way that you can have an empty cup and then expect to be giving to others all day long. I don't care if you have 2 kids, if you have 6 kids. I don't care if you are an only child or if you have 6 brothers and sisters. I don't care if you've been married for 30 years and you've been on the job for 40 years. If you are walking around depleted of your energy, your own power, you're not validating yourself, and you're not responsible for your choices, you are living from an empty cup. And there's no way to fill another's cup from an empty one. So that's where we get into the depth of self-love does not only equal self-care. Self-love is self-preservation. And as you do that for yourself, your cup is full and you can give to your family, give to your spouse, give to your significant other, give to your career, give to your relationships, give to everything outside of you. You're able to give your full self. So let's wrap this up. Talking about the fact that it's time to really live free is not for the faint of heart. I used to think it was. I used to think that it was really easy and it was so fluffy and it was, so sugar-coated. But I have come to the realization through many different activities, and experiences and being in my own collectives, my own women collectives, that this is not an easy thing. And that if you decide to truly commit to living free, then you're going to focus on these 3 areas: being 100% responsible, 100% validated within yourself first, and you're going to focus on 100% self-love as long as it takes. Because then when you're doing those things, then that money you want to make, that relationship you want to have, that family that you want to build, that community that you want to strengthen, all of those things come naturally and easy. But it comes from living free for yourself first. So that's really it in terms of the topic. Now, I have a call to action. I got several call to actions for you all. As I said, last week and this week, I've launched my tour. The tour is loosely based on the topics in this book. The book is called The F Train to Freedom. And the 3 main topics that I'm focusing on are fear, self-forgiveness, and fat. Okay? These are the 3 F words that I'm focusing on. And so, I have got a magnificent presentation. It's not just I stand up in front of people and I'm just talking. It is upbeat, it's interactive, and it's really in the form of a workshop, okay? So the first thing I would love for you all to do is to go to my website, noniwalker.com/booking, and complete an interest form for where you would like to host your event, featuring me speaking on these topics, conducting the workshop, having women get together in a collective to focus on self-love, self-preservation, responsibility, validation through the topics in my book. If you don't have an event in mind, just forward the website out to somebody else. The second thing is if you feel like a lot of these topics that I talk about are connecting with you and that you feel you might need some individual help on these things, then I invite you to take advantage of coaching. I am available as a wellness coach. I've got 1-month programs and 6-month programs that for any one of these topics, if you want that one-on-one coaching, how can we look at your life the way that it is now? How can we implement some of the tactics and the methods that are in my book on a daily basis to get you to that point? How can I do that, Noni? Well, contact me for coaching, and that website is in the description as well. Another call to action is I want you all to start really being mindful and aware of the times on a daily basis that you yourself could be living freer, okay, utilizing these topics that I talked about. As you find yourself sitting on the phone for an hour with your girlfriend, complaining with no solutions, ding, 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 I'm not really living free because I'm not being 100% responsible for how to change this situation into something better for myself, okay? And so just to be more aware on a daily basis of how it is in these areas that you're not living as free as you want to be, and to reach out to other women. I know we have a lot of collective groups on Facebook, a lot of virtual groups that I know the ones that I'm in have helped me. But in your own like real life physical community, reach out to women around you. You be the first one. Hey, let's get together for tea. Let's get together for healthy smoothies. Let's get together for something else. And help each other to create the solutions that are going to benefit you as a person. Okay? So that's definitely a call to action. And, just join me. Join me in this movement, in this manifesting freedom movement, in this I want to live free movement. Join me. Stay connected through my personal page as well as my professional page. I'm on YouTube, just wherever. I'm all over the place. So I hope that this has helped you. I'd love to see some feedback. If any of these topics are really hitting home, and maybe you realize that there's some areas that you could grow in. Hey, hey. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're just getting here, I miss you too. If you're just getting here, rewind, go back to the beginning, and leave me your comments. And again, join me through my various networks. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And until next time, live free. Peace.